Now, into the ticket office of Disneyland.
Oh boy, let's do this. Don't think the CIA is going to be trying to hack your second-gen iPod.
I didn't think so. There might have been a lot of illegal music on there. I wouldn't doubt it. But, I mean...
You were supposed to bring death to the flagships, not join them.
Google has found a new way to piss me off.
iTunes is a constant source of embarrassment.
Every time I say it, it's going to suck even more.
Everyone's idiots.
I am Nadella.
I can't do it anymore without laughing. I was going to do the whole thing. Welcome, everyone, to the Calling All Platforms podcast. I am your host, Wes, and I'm here with Landon.
Hello.
And Caleb.
Hi.
And we are here to talk all things tech this week, because we've got a few things to talk about, actually. Stuff happened. There's a lot of news out there in the world. I'm not going to say it's good or bad, but we're going to report on it. Tell you, I'm sure we'll have some opinions. Let's be honest. There's going to be opinions. But
I have so many opinions. Do you want to get into all of them? Because that'll take a while.
We'll have some. That's why I said some. I don't think Caleb, if he was on a streak still of being nice and talking without negativity on things, this would have been the episode, I feel, that would have broke that.
Probably. I thought that ended with the iPhone announcement.
Here's the thing. I actually am still trying to do that. Like, I passed up a bunch of things I could have talked about because they were like just negative. But yeah, looking at some of the things I did put on here.
Yep.
Oops.
Yeah. I mean, and he was trying to be nice, listeners. So here we go.
This is me trying to be nice.
Yeah. Well, let's get into it. Let's try to be nice about the new Amazon hardware.
Do we really? Okay, fine.
Okay, yeah.
All right. So Amazon had an event, and they actually had an event, and I didn't watch it, but I kind of want to go back and watch at least parts of it because, listener, if you weren't aware, a couple years ago, they hired away from Microsoft one of, if not the current best person when it comes to giving a keynote, and that's Panos Panay.
Yes.
And like, he made the Microsoft events actually watchable and fun, nice.
He did. I remember those.
And so that, I mean, he would be the only reason I would want to go and actually watch this event, because he's good at what he does. Let's just say that. Like, if he should go on QVC, he would be amazing at that. That'd be, man. Anyways. This isn't a Panos Panay event, unfortunately. This is Amazon and lots of new hardware that they came out with. And I'm not going to say don't go buy any of it, because there are some things that are probably actually, there are some things that are nice, but it's pricing. Even Amazon pricing, I wouldn't say buy it. Anyways, so
yeah.
The big thing that came out of this event that most people are going to probably hear about, if they haven't already, then yeah, I'm kind of surprised, is some new Echo speakers. So they came out with a new Echo Dot. Actually, no, they're now calling it, this is an Echo Dot Max, because the Echo Dot wasn't good enough. And they came out with a new Echo Studio, and then an Echo Show 8, which is the one with the little tablet on it, and then a new Echo Show 11, which implies bigger screen because it's 11. Not that it goes up to 11, because Apple already made that stupid joke a while ago. No, this one has an 11-inch display on it. And interestingly enough, the prices on these is Amazon typically sells their stuff at a discount, because what they really want is your data and your money to go onto their website, not to their hardware. But this Echo Dot Max is $100. The Echo Studio is $220. The Echo Show 8 is $180, and the Echo Show 11 is $220 as well. So none of these are what I would call inexpensive. They're not the most expensive smart home hardware you can buy, because Apple still holds that, with their hardware. But it's not cheap. either. So let's talk about some of this. So the new Echo Dot Max and the Echo Studio kind of are a little bit different when it comes to how, like, visually, like what they look like. They're still the little ball-shaped thing, but this time they have a little cutout in the like side top section where there's like a little light and buttons and things like that on there. And they also are using what they call a new 3D knit fabric with no seams that goes all around this ball other than where the little cutout is. So, I mean, it's very similar to like what Google has on their home speakers and what the Apple HomePod, you know, that speaker fabric, basically what it looks like. It's very similar. They also have a new AZ3 chip, which I didn't know Amazon made their own chips, but apparently they do. And that's in the Echo Dot Max. And then everything else is using the AZ3 Pro chip. And Amazon says that these chips are just faster, more powerful. They make it so the wake word will detect faster, and you can update it better. It's got on-device AI processing, blah 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 blah, all that crap. Yeah, that's the new speakers. Oh, also the Echo Studio has built-in spatial audio, which is, I mean, we know what that is, and Dolby Atmos support. And they also say all of these speakers, the Dot Max and the Studio, can be you can put 5 of them together to work with a Fire TV for surround sound home theater system. Now, in my opinion, at the cheapest level, if you're just getting 5 Echo Dot Maxes, that's $500. You can buy a pretty good surround sound system for $500 that will sound immensely better than what you're going to get.
It'll come with a subwoofer.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. An
Yeah.
Echo Dot Max is still just like a baseball-sized piece of hardware. That's never going to compete with even a crappy 6-inch sub. To say nothing of, like, for $500, a fully integrated 5.1 surround system, probably going to have a 10-inch sub. It's not going to be a very good 10-inch sub, but it'll have one.
Yeah.
And that's going to absolutely wipe the floor with this thing. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Like, just as a point of reference, I bought a while ago a sound bar. I can't remember what brand. It might be, I think it's a Vizio sound bar. And it, like, the sound bar is probably 3 feet long, 2 inches tall, you know, your typical sound bar. And then it also came with 2 rear speakers and a subwoofer. So I'm getting decent surround sound, and I think it was on sale, and I think I paid $250.
Yeah.
And it sounds really good. And that's the price of one of these speakers if you get the Echo Studio.
No, that's like, listener. Okay, here's the thing. Echo Studio by itself. I went to the thrift store and spent about $15 or $16 all in and got a way better sound setup with a couple of speakers and an amp that then this $250 Echo Studio could even hope to approach. And yeah, if you want a 5.1 surround sound system, absolutely under no circumstances should you try to accomplish that by daisy chaining cloud connected speakers to each other.
Yeah.
Go buy yourself a used 5.1 amp from a thrift store or off of Craigslist in your area or Facebook Marketplace or whatever. And if it doesn't come with speakers, then go to a thrift store and buy the 5 heaviest speakers that they have that are all the same ohms, I guess. You probably ought to make sure they're all the same ohms, all the same resistance. But yeah, like, just get like the 5 heaviest 8 ohm speakers they've got. Doesn't matter if they look the same, whatever. Hook those up to that cheap amp that you paid maybe $50 for, and Bob's your uncle. You're done. And buy an old amp. Doesn't have to have HDMI on it, because, listener, did you know there's this thing? It's called SPDIF. It's an optical audio connection, And pretty much all modern TVs have it.
Yeah.
So you plug all of your HDMI devices into your TV, you set your TV to output audio over that SPDIF connection, and you plug that into the back of your old amp because this port has been around for like 40 years or something like that. It's a really good way. And all of that sound way better than 5 Echo Studio whatevers. And it'll cost maybe $100.
Yeah.
That is a wild feature to add to your stupid cloud-based spying speakers, Amazon. That's just absolutely bananas.
Yeah. I mean, I do think this has been a thing for a little bit because you can also do the same thing with Google speakers and Apple speakers as well. Which
I don't think you can do a 5.1 surround system with the Apple speakers.
That's true.
They
can
I thought
do.
you could just do stereo
2
pairs.
I think that might be right. Just stereo. But either way,
I think it's just
don't
stereo
do that
pairs.
either.
That's also stupid. I agree, but it's less stupid than getting 5 of them and putting them all in the same room. That's the dumbest thing. I got 5 smart speakers. They're all in my living room.
Yeah, that was the one that got me. I'm like, okay, it's kind of cool that you can do this. Like the technology around it, that's neat. But one, the sound is not going to be nearly as good as if you spent that much money on an actual sound system. And 2, when you try to ask it to do something, do all of them respond? That's just a nightmare waiting to happen.
It's so. Okay.
Alexa in surround sound? No.
The guy who developed this and enabled it on these speakers is the same dude responsible for putting 5 cameras on the front of their smartphone.
Yeah.
It was the same dude, and Amazon, fire that dude. He's got terrible ideas.
Yeah. So, listener, like I said, that is something you can do with these, but please don't. If you're going to buy any of them, buy one. Because, I mean, if you're just using it to listen to some music out of one speaker, they probably sound fine. Like, I've got a Google Home Max. It sounds pretty good. For what it is, it's got decent bass. It's got decent tweeter speakers in there. It is not bad for that. But I would never consider using that to watch a movie or a TV show or anything like that. Because it's not made for that. Despite what they might tell you, that's not what it should be used for. Ever.
Well, and to be clear, if you don't intend to use the smart speaker functionality of this thing kind of a lot, go to the thrift store, buy a cheap amp and the 2 heaviest speakers that you can find and hook them up. It's going to be way better sound. It's going to be great for music listening. Yeah. And I don't know, if you want to be able to connect to it with Bluetooth, you can buy a cheap dongle that will enable that. Or actually, you could just buy a cheap amp, like a cheap stereo amp that has a Bluetooth chip built into it. There's some of those that are pretty decent. So I don't know, man. If it's just listening to music, don't buy a smart speaker. If that's your main thing. If you want the smart speaker functionality, then okay, get the smart speaker. And if you want to also be able to listen to music on it, and that is important to you, then I guess get the more expensive smart speaker because it will sound better than the little tiny one.
Right.
But if you're not using the smart speaker functionality to like get your calendar updates and check the weather every morning over your coffee or something like that, then maybe just get some speakers.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Now, moving on to the part of the event that actually might, well, I can't even say these are worth their prices either, but they're at least somewhat usable products. So they came out with some new Kindle Scribe tablets. The Kindle Scribe, listener, if you don't know what that is, it's basically like it's a Kindle. It's got the e-paper display, but you can write on it. And it actually works fairly well. These new ones, they say, has a latency of under 12 milliseconds, so it's faster. They're saying 40% faster than what the previous... They didn't specify faster than what. I would imagine faster than the previous model. I would hope that's what they're talking about, but you never know. they could be using the Apple way of saying it's faster. It's 40% faster than the first generation. This is the 6th generation. Just don't matter that.
Yeah, that happens.
But yeah, so the new Kindle Scribe is $430, which is shockingly expensive for a Kindle. The Kindle Scribe with front light, that's also a new one. That basically just means it has a light so you can use it in the dark. All right, $550 for that one. And then they came out with the new Kindle Scribe Color Soft, which is basically a color e-paper display, which they also have a Kindle Color Soft, which is just your basic e-reader with a color display. But that one costs $630. And listener, if you're spending $630 on something like this, buy an iPad. Because much more usable. You can get a pencil with that's what they call it, a pencil. I get this messed up on what all these different styluses are called. But yeah, it's very odd that you're spending that much money on something like this. But there it is. They also had to mention that they are 5.4 millimeters thick, which is thinner than the new iPhone Air, but it is way less usable because it's a Kindle e-paper tablet. Yeah. So like I said, I mean, these are better products, I would say, than the Echo devices in the sense that they are Kindle products, and Kindle is just really good. Like, all their software is pretty good for what it's used for. But at those prices, I just don't know if I can still recommend them because that's a lot of money. All right. The next thing they talked about is some new Fire TV stuff. And they also introduced a new Vega operating system, which these new TVs and TV sticks are going to be utilizing, because they are not going to be using their previous Fire OS or whatever they called it on their TVs that ran on based of Android. These are just going to be, it's their own in-house software, but it looks basically the same as what it was before, which makes sense. They controlled how it looked before, so they're obviously going to make it look the same, so they don't freak people out when they buy their new Amazon TV and it's like, wait a minute, this doesn't look like Amazon anymore. No, it still does. But they have a few different TV series. They have the Fire TV 2 series, which starts at $160. Fire TV 4 series, which starts at $300 or $330. And then the Fire TV Omni series, which is $480 and higher. And basically the differences between these is going to be screen size and screen quality. So that's really what you need to look for. I don't know all the details on these, but if you care more, you can look it up yourself. I'm just going to go ahead and say probably don't. I mean, okay, this is coming from me, who I'm not a really big fan of anything that has any sort of Fire OS software on it. And also it's Amazon. I would say don't buy these, but if you're already in that ecosystem, then that's fine, I guess. They are inexpensive TVs, and they are going to be relatively decent hardware for the price. It's just the software that worries me. So there's that. All right. The next thing that I care, that you might care, listener, that they announced is some new Ring hardware, because when it comes to smart doorbells and cameras, Ring is actually pretty good stuff. It's just unfortunate that they're owned by Amazon. But they announced some new 2K and 4K cameras. So, and they're calling this really stupid naming again. They're calling them Retinal 2K and Retinal 4K because they couldn't use whatever. Oh, what does Apple use? Just Retina. They had to add an L to it to make it different, I guess. I don't know. But they came out with some new updated Ring doorbells and some indoor cam and an outdoor camera. They also came out with I can't remember what they called it. It's a 180-degree camera. And instead of just like, we have the technology in these 3D camera, or not 3D, 360-degree cameras that they just use two cameras to give you that, 360-degree view. They're using two cameras for 180 degrees. I don't know if they know we have lenses that can by themselves do 180 degrees, but they're using two.
I was gonna say.
Well,
It's one of their new Blink cameras. That's another company that Amazon bought and is utilizing. But yeah, so there's that. But like I said, all their cameras are either 2K or 4K. Most of their higher end ones are obviously the 4K ones, and their cheaper ones are going to be 2K. But yeah, so new cameras. That if you're going to buy anything, those are probably the only thing I would actually recommend would be the cameras, because like I said, they are actually pretty good. Everyone I know that uses Ring or Blink cameras really like them. So yeah, that's Amazon and they're all the new hardware they announced this past week. So there you go.
awesome. I think. All right, let's go ahead and move on to Apple news. Software does make hardware better,
I guess. Which is
That's the next
interesting
topic.
because typically Apple in the past has made something in a new version of a hardware product that could very easily be set up in a previous version of that hardware product via a software update, and they claim that it's because they have new hardware in the new product. But in reality, they could very easily do the same thing via software. But they've changed, at least when it comes to their AirPods. So part of the iOS 26 update was a new firmware update for AirPods Pro 2 that made this. They were claiming the microphone on it have studio quality microphone recording and audio and things like that. And I was obviously very skeptical on this. So when I got the iOS beta update on my phone, I went to see if my AirPods got the update because I guess they're now included in these beta softwares. But I couldn't actually make that work for some reason. But it actually worked out because I was able to record some audio on my AirPods before the iOS 26 update happened. And then once I finally got that update on my AirPods, I recorded something afterwards. And I just want to play this audio so you can hear the difference. And I'll just let the audio speak for itself, and then we'll have reactions afterwards. So here's the first one. This is what it sounds like to record with the AirPods Pro 2 microphone before the OS 26 update. Okay, so there's the first one. Here's the second one. This is what it sounds like to record with the AirPods Pro 2 microphone after the OS 26 update. Listener, that's wildly better.
It's pretty insane, actually.
Yeah, it is.
I was expecting it to be a little bit better, because, yeah, you can do things like that with software and,
Sure.
but these are 3-year-old hardware that they made magically sound like brand new hardware with just a software update. And like AirPods, I was using these while they were in my ear, a good 5 inches away from my mouth. Like both times. And I had both earbuds in at the same time when I was recording. So it kind of did utilize both microphones. But I mean, you heard beforehand, there's lots of background noise. My voice sounds like it's on a phone call, but worse because, again, the microphone is not close to my mouth. Didn't sound great. After, it's like there's no back. Like I recorded it in the same place in my podcast studio area. So, I mean, yes, it's kind of a treated area, but there's still, like you can get background noise in here if needed. But like it was quiet. Like my voice sounded relatively normal. There was a little bit of gating going on I could hear, which if you don't know what that means, like if you talk too quiet, it'll kind of just cut it out. And there was a little bit of cut out in a spot or two on that audio. But overall, it was shockingly better. Way better than I was expecting it to be with just a software update.
Yep. No, I will say, it's still not quite as good as just the microphone on, a pair of wired inline earbuds,
Right.
Like, the lightning earbuds that Apple shipped with their phones back a few years ago kind of thing. Still not quite that good in terms of the recording quality, but that's just down to Bluetooth, you know? And in terms of like, it cutting stuff out, that was really nice. And they're doing so much processing on it in order to send it across the Bluetooth connection that, like, obviously, the audio is going, like you said, it's going to sound a little bit more gated. It's going to sound a little bit more processed, that's so much better than I have heard from pretty much any Bluetooth microphone.
Yeah.
That was great.
Kind of it all. Like for a Bluetooth non-wired mic, that was nuts. Like actually insane.
Yeah. Like obviously I still wouldn't use this if you are like making videos or something. Like you can buy dedicated hardware that uses a wireless mic that you just kind of clip onto your shirt or hold up to your mouth, listener, you've seen them in influencers use them all the time. Like little DJI microphone or something like that, or Shure makes some, there's lots of products out there that aren't that expensive. Get something like that. But for someone that, makes a phone call every once in a while, that when they're using their earbuds, or you're on the go and and need a Zoom call or something, like these will work perfectly fine for something like that. And I'm just shocked at how much better they actually sound.
Yeah. And it's like, to be clear, if you have ever used like a tiny wireless mic and thought, well, it didn't sound that good, that sounded better, make sure that if you're getting a wireless mic for use in a semi-professional setting, make sure it's using a 2.4 gigahertz wireless connection, not Bluetooth. Yeah. If it says Bluetooth 5 or anything like that on it, run. It's going to sound terrible because that's just a limitation of Bluetooth. That's how it be. If you want low latency audio, which you do if you're on a phone call, like with a microphone recording, and so the mics are designed to operate that way, it sounds bad. It's just really compressed. But the fact that Apple managed to get it to sound that good, honestly, kind of makes me wonder if it's purely Bluetooth. Like, are they enabling some kind of secret Wi-Fi mode on these earbuds or something like that? Probably not. It's probably Bluetooth, but dang, they done some wizardry there.
They really did.
And I'm also curious. I haven't heard. Well, no, I have heard some. And now I think about it, some people have reviewed the new AirPods Pro, and that audio is better than what these ones are. But that's because they actually do have new hardware in those to make the sound better. But again, for 3-year-old earbuds with just a software update, that's surprising how much better it sounds.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay. But nothing else on that. Let's go ahead and let's move on to Google News. Let's talk about the new Nest products.
Yeah, so not to be outdone by Amazon, Google had to come out with their own new smart home stuff. Unfortunately, they did get outdone by Amazon because all of these cameras are just 2K, not 4. They don't have any 4K cameras, which according to Google is good enough for smart home cameras, which, to be fair, they're right.
It probably is, yeah.
Honestly, you don't need 4K cameras, especially on your doorbell. That's just unnecessary, in my opinion.
Listener, I got to level with you. You don't need any cameras on your doorbell. I haven't had a camera on my doorbell ever, and it's working out just. In fact, you don't need a doorbell. My doorbell's actually broken. Kind of nice, gotta say.
I'm going to go ahead.
I don't have to talk to people.
Yeah, like if you do have a doorbell and it is broken, don't fix it, because people will push that, and then you won't know they're there. They will think you're gone. Yeah. And it's a win-win right there. Ready?
It's beautiful. I love it. It's so awesome.
That being said, I do have a doorbell camera, and I really do like having it because I can look to say, wait, who's at the door? Yeah, I don't need to go to answer that. It's a salesman or something stupid. I don't need to talk to them. Or it's it's one of my kids' friends. Yeah, I don't need to answer the door. That's,
Right.
it is kind of nice, but I do agree with Caleb that, yeah, you don't need one. And in all honesty, you don't need a doorbell at all, but get a fake one. If anything else, just go to the dollar store, because I'm pretty sure they probably have a quote unquote joke doorbell that looks like a real doorbell. Put that on there. Do not hook it up, and just let people not knock on your door. Great.
There you go. Yep.
It'll work all the time. Okay, now on to people. If you actually want some smart cameras, let's talk about it. So, and when it comes to buying smart cameras, if you're going to choose between Amazon and Google, go the Google route, honestly, because you don't want Amazon spying on things. Not that Google's that much better, but they are better than Amazon. And also put these cameras outside. You don't need indoor cameras spying on you all the time. Unless, of course, if you're getting cameras for inside your house or outside your house, I would personally try and find something that you can put an SD card in, that you don't have to use cloud storage, because then it's all just in hardware, and then you don't have to worry about companies having the ability to spy on you as easily. So keep that in mind. All right. So some new Nest cameras. They came out with some indoor and outdoor, and a new Ring, or oh my gosh, not a Ring, a new Nest doorbell. Get all these companies mixed up. They are claiming better low light performance. Obviously 2K HDR video is what they're saying. And supposedly they are ranked number 1 in their class for image quality by DxOMark. So I don't know if DxOMark had ranked the 4K Amazon ones yet, but the 2K Google ones are number 1 in their class in all of these different categories.
Is their class 2K? Like, is the resolution what that defines their class versus the Amazon one? Because that would be funny.
Yeah, probably. So the three different cameras. There's the Nest Cam Outdoor, which starts at $149.99. The Nest Cam Indoor, which is $99.99, and then a new Nest Doorbell, which is a wired version, for $179.99. And honestly, I mean, that's really all you need to know. They're updated cameras. They have better image quality, better low light performance, and then pricing. That's really all that matters. They also came out with a new Google Home speaker, and that's just what it's called, Google Home speaker. It's fine. It is $99, so $100 for this speaker. And it looks like if you were to combine the Google Home Mini and the Google Home Max, like the bigger one versus the small one, and kind of just combine those so it's right in the middle size-wise. It's kind of got that same similar shape to the Google Home Mini instead of that weird oval thing that the Google Home Max was.
Yeah.
But I honestly think it looks perfectly fine for what it is. And they are claiming to obviously have better sound, better bass. And this one was designed specifically for Gemini for Home. So this has Gemini inside of it instead of Google Assistant, which is also, Gemini is going to be coming to some of the older Google Home products. They didn't give us a date. They just said coming soon. So I do think that there is going to be a beta of that coming, but that is also not, like, it's supposed to be out, but nobody that I've read or watched from says that they have that available to them yet. So who knows when it's actually going to come. This new Google Home speaker is also not coming until spring of 2026. And we all know that when you announce hardware 6 months in advance, it's going to go well, right? Right?
Very well.
But yeah, the Google Home speaker, it looks fine. I've watched some videos with some sound previews, I guess is what you could call it. It sounds fine. I guess, again, this is over a video. I haven't actually heard it in person. I would imagine it's not going to sound any worse than the Google Home Max, which I do have one of those. And it, again, sounds fine for what it is. It's nothing, like, we already had this discussion. It's not going to be as good as dedicated speakers that are a lot larger, but for what it is, it's fine. Yeah, the thing that is interesting to me is the Gemini built in. So obviously they're switching everything from Gemini from Google Assistant. And I haven't used Gemini when it comes to doing assistant type things. I've used Gemini for AI type things because that's what it is. That's what makes sense to me. And people that I know that have tried to use Gemini for assistant type things says it's hit or miss on whether or not it actually works right. So maybe that's why it's not coming till 2026, because they're still trying to work out those kinks. So just keep that in mind. Obviously, since you can't buy it yet, we're not going to be able to get reviews for a while. Don't buy it until there are reviews out to actually know, is this really worth buying? Because who knows? Software might be not great. Wow. Google also partnered with Walmart, of all companies, to put this new Gemini home software stuff into some of their smart home things. So their brand is the On brand. It's ONN. On is like they have different products in that branding name and whatnot. But they came out with a new indoor camera and a video doorbell. And the On indoor camera is $23, and the On video doorbell is $50. So if you want to get into the kind of Google Home ecosystem but not spend the Google Home prices, maybe go with this brand. And I actually have heard really good things about most of the On hardware. Like,
yeah,
Walmart actually makes an On branded, it's basically a Chromecast with Google TV, but it's On branding, which that's fun. It's On brand. Anyways,
it's on brand.
Whoa.
But it's surprisingly cheaper than the Google Home, like the Google Chromecast with Google TV. Man, that's a dumb name. It's cheaper than that, which is already pretty inexpensive. So, and I've heard great things about those. So I would imagine these are probably pretty good. I don't know all the details on these cameras. They just kind of slightly announced them with it. They are available now. They
tossed them in there.
They launched on October 1st. So as of recording, that was a few days ago. So you can get them. I would imagine they're not horrible, but those prices may indicate they're not going to be nearly as good as what you can spend or what you can get from Nest or even Ring or whatnot. But for a good starter smart home, like camera system, honestly, it's probably not going to be a bad option.
It's actually kind of crazy. Like Walmart store brand tech is honestly some of the best bang for your buck tech out there.
Yeah.
They just don't offer much premium stuff or like any premium stuff. But if you're looking at like entry level type stuff, that it's honestly some of the best pricing you're going to see.
Yeah. So I just went to Walmart's website. So the indoor security camera that they have is 1080p HDR video. And they said intelligent alerts with Google Home. So if you have a Google Home speaker already, this will work with that. So that's kind of nice. And then the doorbell, that again, it's $50 for the doorbell, $23 for the camera. It says head-to-toe view, right? And it says on wired video doorbell, head-to-toe view, intelligent alerts with Google Home. Yeah. It's actually, strangely enough, not giving me... Oh, wait, here it is. 1200p HDR video. That's a new one I haven't seen before.
Just means it's a little bit taller than 1080.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, it's just a different aspect ratio. But again, for those prices, honestly, I would imagine they're probably okay. The only downside, at least with like the camera, is it is wired. You have to have it plugged in somewhere. So that makes it a little more inconvenient on where you can place it. The doorbell's not that big of a deal. If you already have a hardwired doorbell there, it just integrates with the already in their system and stuff. Like that's how my doorbell works. Like I just wired it to the already integrated integrated hardware for the doorbell. I can speak well. So that's not that big of a deal, at least in my opinion. If you're in an apartment or something, or you're renting, it might be a little more of an issue. But again, for the price, honestly, I can't not recommend these products because, again, so far, everything I've heard about the On hardware it's really good, especially for the price. So that's all the stuff that Google announced at it wasn't even an event, it's just a blog post, because that's the way to announce this type of stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's go ahead and move into some general tech news. First thing on here is maybe don't buy the Samsung Galaxy Ring.
Yep, that's it. Don't buy it.
Don't buy it.
There you go.
So this one, listener, do you remember back in the day?
Does it explode and blow people's fingers off?
We're getting there.
The Note 7.
Oh,
So, as Caleb mentioned, so the Note 7.
Wait,
back
really?
In the day,
I was joking. Is that actually what
Oh, wow.
Let me finish my story. So the Note 7 back in the day had issues with the battery expanding unexpectedly, and it expanded to the extent that it would actually blow up in people's pockets. Not while it was charging, while it was in someone's pocket or your hand or on an airplane. It got to the point where the FAA banned not just Note 7s, but Samsung phones in general from being on your person on a flight. So that was an issue. And it's probably been 8 or 9 years since that. It's been a while.
Yeah,
since that happened.
A good 4 to 5 years since we stopped relentlessly mocking Samsung over it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their battery technology, I guess, had gotten better until they made it small. So this new Galaxy Ring that they just came out with not that long ago, somebody I've seen posts on Reddit, on Twitter, the story it's gone relatively viral in the tech community, especially when it comes to smart rings. So this person that had it, they noticed that it was starting to get kind of tight on their finger to the point that they couldn't get it off. And they were on vacation, trying to come home. They had a planned flight. They got to the airport, and they couldn't get it off to go through the metal detector. And the airline was like, yeah, no, you're not coming on the plane. He had to get a hotel and stay overnight again because they wouldn't allow him to get on the plane. And then he had to go to the hospital to get this thing surgically removed, basically, more like they had to cut it off because the battery had started to swell enough that it wouldn't come off of his finger. And this is a major problem because, again, it's a ring. It's meant to be relatively snug on your finger so that it doesn't come off. And it's also, because of what it is, meant to be worn basically 24 hours a day. So, he's lucky that he noticed it while he was awake and that it didn't actually explode. Because listener, it's a ring. It's a small battery. If that thing starts to expand, it doesn't have very much to go before it goes. So that's a big problem. I haven't heard of this happening to more people, at least not yet. It hasn't come out that more people have had this issue. But that doesn't mean it hasn't happened, because there could just be people that have noticed, it's kind of tighter to get off. And maybe they're thinking, maybe it's just like my hand's warm, or, things like that can make getting a ring on and off a little more difficult. But if it's a consistent thing, maybe contact Samsung and don't wear the ring anymore. Because if this were to explode, it's literally wrapped around your finger, and you won't have that finger anymore, if not a couple others next to it. So, not a good situation.
I know that this is a tech podcast, And generally speaking, we three like tech. I just want to say there is no piece of tech that is adding enough value to your life to make it worth risking bodily injury over.
Yeah.
Okay? There's no way that the Samsung Galaxy Ring is adding so much to your quality of life that it's worth risking losing a finger over just to wear it. And I think that now that this story is out, now that somebody has said this, I'm sitting here thinking, why didn't this raise red flags in me back when the Ura or whatever launched initially, like the original smart ring, and just, wow, what a terrible concept for a device. Like, at least with a watch, one side of it, the band is just a band. It's a watch band. Worst case scenario, you can cut that sucker off with a pair of scissors, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's not that big of a deal. But the ring, the battery's wrapped almost all the way around.
Yeah, I don't know how they actually got this thing off without making it explode, but somehow they did.
I'm pretty sure with these smart rings, there's one side of it, which is where the most of the PCB is, and like sensors and stuff for like reading your heart rate and that kind of thing are all clustered on one side. And I'm pretty sure that stuff is thick enough that there's no way there's battery there. So they just have to identify where the sensors are on it and then cut through it. I'm betting you that's what you have to do. And then you can just basically pry the thing off. And at that point, if the battery explodes, well, at least it's not on the person's finger anymore, you know?
Yeah.
That is nuts.
Yeah.
And I just love that it's Samsung, too. That's my favorite part.
I know.
Amazing.
And so far, there hasn't been any statement from Samsung yet on this that I am aware of. At least nothing official. So keep that in mind. And it's funny because on their website, when it does give different remedies for if your ring is tight of what to do. And it's basically just what you would do for any regular ring. Dip your hand in cold water. But if the battery is swelling on your ring, that's a horrible idea. So I don't know what to tell you there. I guess obviously you're going to have to go to a hospital and have them cut it off.
Because like that's not, oh no, my joint swelled a little bit and so I need cold water to bring the swelling down so I can slide it off. That's, oh no, my ring is actually a smaller size now than it was when I put it on.
Yeah.
And my joint has probably swollen because the circulation has been slightly terminated to that digit. And if, the waterproofing has probably been compromised as a result of the battery swelling. Wow. What a perfect storm of, yep, I need a doctor to take this thing off. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Goodness.
So maybe don't buy the Samsung Galaxy Ring.
Yeah.
And in all honesty,
valid.
Maybe don't buy a smart ring in general.
Yeah, just don't buy smart rings.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't fathom it being worth the risk.
I mean, if you want a ring that tells you something about what's going on in your life, buy a mood ring.
Yeah, get a mood ring. That's a great idea. And then wear a smartwatch for all of the stuff that the smart ring was doing.
Yep.
And honestly, the smartwatch probably does most of it better.
And it can do more as well.
Yes. And you can cut it off with a pair of scissors if you need to.
Oh, jeez.
Yep.
Hey, let's talk about more things maybe not to do. Maybe don't ride in somebody else's Cybertruck.
Yeah. So, listener, when the Cybertruck launched, we talked about it a little bit. And I think that you are a smart person. You're listening to this podcast, so you're above average intelligence, which means you had no intention of ever purchasing a Cybertruck. That would be insane, right? Totally. However, I'm just going to go ahead and throw this out here. Maybe don't ride in somebody else's Cybertruck. See, there was a wrongful death lawsuit filed against Tesla this past week on behalf of the families of 2 teenage girls that were riding in the back seat of somebody else's Cybertruck. The Cybertruck got in a wreck, and then the battery pack caught on fire.
Oh
No, that's bad. You're in a vehicle that's on fire. What do you do in a vehicle that's on fire? You get out, right? You exit through the doors. Okay. According to the families of these 2 deceased individuals, their injuries were relatively minor. They died of smoke inhalation and burns because they couldn't open the doors. Because yes, the Cybertruck's doors are electrically actuated, right, in order to open and close. Because that's not just a Cybertruck thing. That there's a lot of cars that are starting to move in that direction. I think it's dumb. But every single car has to have a manual override that will release the door, whether or not there's power to it. And if the battery pack is on fire, boy, you can bet there's probably not power to the doors. So, okay, how do you get to the manual door release for the Cybertruck? So you have to go down into the bottom of the little cubby on the door, pull away the rubber base like to the thing, and then there's a cable underneath that you pull on.
Oh.
It is hidden
Yeah.
down inside the door. And they didn't know that. Not necessarily unsurprisingly, because that's the most brain-dead place to put an emergency release for a door.
Yeah.
That ought to be freaking out in the open with a red flag on it. But no, Tesla doesn't make any decisions based on what's safe, what's right, what's
Smart.
intelligent, They make decisions based entirely off of what's going to stroke Elon's ego. And having a visible emergency door release or visible door handle of any kind evidently doesn't stroke Elon's ego. And so, yeah, 2 people died as a result. And yep, so
Yeah.
it's not even necessarily to say anything about the friend that owns a Cybertruck, but maybe just don't ride in the back of the thing, because if there is an accident, maybe not even their fault, and the battery pack does catch on fire, you're going to have to cast your mind back to this episode of our podcast to try and save yourself out of the back seat of that thing by remembering where I just said the emergency door release was for the back doors of a Cybertruck. And you don't want that in your life, listener. You don't want that constant nagging worry and hope that I, as a person who has never actually seen the backseat of a Cybertruck, am describing the positioning of it correctly. So just don't ride in somebody else's Cybertruck.
Yeah. I mean, to give some perspective on this, there, like Caleb said, there are other companies that are doing the electric door type thing, but the way to manually override that is just built into the door handle. It's like there's a button there to open it normally, but if that doesn't work, you just open it like a normal door, and that makes sense. Whereas the Cybertruck isn't that way, and it's stupid. It's just so dumb.
I will say, I have seen a few electric doors that 100% like the Cybertruck, their manual override is utterly incomprehensible. Those are on like $1 million plus supercars.
Yeah.
That are also convertibles. So if the rollover crash doesn't kill you, which it probably would, let's be honest, but if it doesn't, the roof has come off. You can just climb out. Like, that's not... I don't think opening the door is going to be the issue in those situations. The lack of, crumple zones will probably be what kills you in that case.
Dang. All right, well, let's move on from that. Maybe another thing, maybe don't sign up for AOL, because you can't actually.
Yeah, so who remembers AOL?
I do.
The noises, the free CDs.
You got mail.
So many CDs. My brother actually used those CDs to keep birds off of his back deck for the longest time, because there were so many of them. They kept coming, so he'd just tie them up and hang them from and they, they're shiny and they spin and scare birds away. Anyways,
that's amazing.
AOL. was the internet for like an entire generation of people that were getting online in the 90s. And it's officially gone. Like AOL dial-up was down into the thousands of people, like less than 10,000 people back in, I think it was 2016 or 2017 or something, the last time anybody actually checked the numbers. And it's been obviously getting low enough that AOL is like, yeah, okay, it's done. We're turning off dial-up. And you can no longer connect to the internet through AOL. So that is the end of an era. And if that was you, listener, how'd you get this episode? That's a good question. Interesting. But yeah, it's not to say that dial-up itself is technically dead, because there are apparently other ISPs that offer it in extremely remote areas. But at this point, it's like if you can't afford Starlink and you live in one of those areas and you really don't have any other options other than dial-up, maybe the internet isn't for you. And that's okay.
Those noises.
Millions of people across the world go their entire lives without connecting to the internet. And, well, okay, some of them live in developing countries where disease is rampant and it's really hard to get access to food. So maybe life isn't better for them, but some parts of their life probably are. Maybe. I don't know.
Couldn't tell you.
I'm trying to put a positive spin on this, but I don't know. Like I said at the beginning of the podcast, I looked down at the things that I had put down here, and I'm like, maybe I'm not trying to just focus on positive tech stories. I need to reevaluate.
Gotcha. All right. Well, definitely an end of an era. AOL. All right, let's move on.
Yep.
We're going to go into some gaming news. Hey, do you remember that Gameboy Lego set we talked about?
Yeah. So Landon is well aware, because he wants one real bad.
Yes, desperately.
So we talked about it back when it was announced, and it launched a couple of weeks ago. And so, yeah, it's been a couple of weeks, and somebody called Natalie the Nerd has put a Game Boy in it. Which is like the dopest thing. So, right, this thing came with a couple of like little holographic screen things and a Lego cartridge you could put in there. And she built a custom PCB layout that will fit inside the cavity of this thing, hooked a bunch of aftermarket Game Boy parts, because actually the modding scene for original Game Boys is nuts. There's a ton of support for stuff like that. So she took all those parts, rebuilt the inside of the Lego set a little bit in order to fit and accommodate all these parts, and had to do, like I said, a custom PCB in order to make it fit in the space she had available. But yeah, it takes full-on Game Boy cartridges, and using the Lego buttons on the front, plays Game Boy games.
Awesome.
So
awesome.
Yep. That's there's a Game Boy game. And is there a Game Boy port of Doom?
Probably.
Because if there is, then this also, I guess, is technically Doom news. But she didn't announce it by saying, "Hey, this plays Doom." She announced it by saying, "Hey, it's an actual Game Boy now. It's just made of Legos instead of plastic." Which, wait, I guess Legos are.
I was going to say
plastic.
Different form of plastic.
It's made of more different plastic.
There you go.
It's actually more plastic than the original.
It's true by quite a bit.
All right. Let's talk about the next topic here. Remember Amazon Luna? Because we don't. Neither do we. That's still a thing.
Yeah, I honestly forgot about Amazon Luna until I saw this article that it's getting some updates to try and bring people to use it, because it is, unlike Stadia, which actually had people using it, Luna is still around. So, yeah. And listener, if you don't know what Amazon Luna is, that's not surprising. Amazon Luna is Amazon's cloud game streaming UI software, whatever you want to call it. It was basically it was launched around the same time as Google Stadia. which, listener, if you don't know what that is, also not surprising. It was killed a year ago. But it's very interesting. So what they're trying to do, like I said, they're going to revamp a lot of things to try and bring in more people. They're going to offer regular Amazon Prime subscribers a little more things that they can do with just their Amazon Prime subscription without having to pay extra. I don't know if it's not going to work on me. I can tell you that much. I don't know if it's going to work on other people. But so they did say,
but Landon, if you sign up for it, you can play Lawn Mowing Simulator for free.
Huh. Wow. I didn't realize that. I'm sold. You got me. No. So they're gonna yeah. They're gonna bring section. Oh, I can't remember what they called this. It's an AI, as it's called here, an AI driven party game section. So basically these are more interactive games. But there's one game in particular that, let's see, the name of it is fun. So, and it includes Snoop Dogg. So the section is called Game Night, which, okay, they want people to be able to play games with other people. But the game, like, they've got a few different games, but the one with Snoop Dogg is called Courtroom Chaos, starring Snoop Dogg, which is basically like a murder mystery type thing, but video game, which is also AI. Like, it has Judge Snoop Dogg, who speaks to players using AI-generated responses.
Wow. Oh.
I mean, I will say the concept of this game has me extremely curious. And the idea of Snoop Dogg and AI has me almost wanting to go play it. But I'm going to wait for other people to do that, and I'll just watch videos of them playing this game, because that's going to be perfectly acceptable for me. But other games that are going to be in this Game Night collection are, so there's that Courtroom Chaos starring Snoop Dogg, Angry Birds. I don't know how you're going to play that one in a group type setting. Draw and Guess, which is Pictionary, I guess. Exploding Kittens, again, interesting way of playing that with a group. I don't know, Falpy Golf Party, FALPP, what, Falpy Golf? I don't know. Taboo, Ticket to Ride, and Clue. Now, those last three make some sense because those are actual games to play with people. The other ones, I'm not entirely sure how that's going to work. So that's something. They're also revamping the UI. I don't know how, but they're doing that to make it more appealing, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, listener, if you'd forgotten about Amazon Luna, not surprised. You could probably forget about it when we're done talking about it as well. Because, I mean, unless you're really intrigued by this Courtroom Chaos starring Snoop Dogg, because I kind of am, but that's really the only thing that's making me even remotely wanting to go and try and find this. And even I'm not going to do it. But
wow,
it is interesting, to say the least. I mean, I love the idea of AI Snoop Dogg. I want to add that to my phone somehow, because that would be amazing. But in a game, not entirely sure how that's going to work.
So is Luna, I always thought, isn't it just like a competitor to like GeForce? Obviously GeForce is, I fared better, but like you just link your pre-existing store accounts to it, and then it just plays those games, right? Am I?
Well, you can. I don't think, like, they have games that are provided through some of those storefronts, And I think you can link your accounts in order to make those games available without having to rebuy them. But Amazon Luna also has like the Stadia version has like a Stadia type store that is their own thing.
Gotcha.
That you can also buy games through directly.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of both. It's a little bit of a mix between GeForce Now and Stadia.
Gotcha.
They did also announce that there are some games that they are bringing to the just your regular Amazon Prime subscriber other than these game night ones. And some of the games that they announced were Hogwarts Legacy, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and Top Spin 2K25. So,
wow.
I mean, these are regular games that you can play elsewhere, but they're, trying to get more people to actually use this service, which is probably the only people that use it are the developers of it. And maybe they don't, I don't know. But, yeah. They're trying.
They use it in testing.
Yeah. I mean, at least they're trying instead of just doing what Google did and killed it, even though they had people using it.
Gotcha. All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on. We're going to talk about, obviously, probably one of the bigger things that people are talking about. We're going to talk about Gamepass and the price update. Yeah.
So, in summary, don't sign up for PC Game Pass. It's terrible. There you go.
I mean,
if you have it, go ahead and cancel.
Just cancel it.
It's not worth it.
Well, there's a lot of doom and gloom, a lot of Xbox dead, Microsoft, everyone's hating it. What's interesting is when this came out, they had to shut down their website because there was so many people going to the thought was to unsubscribe or change their subscription to a lower tier, that they had to shut it down because it just couldn't handle the amount of people. So,
yep.
Interesting stuff here, listener. If you don't know what's going on, you've seen a couple little things here and there. We're going to go ahead and break this down a little bit and see what the new plans and what there is to offer, what's added, let's go through it. Also, I should probably say, as I'm looking at this, listener, I also, just so you know, I do have Game Pass Ultimate, and I've got it for another 2 years. So just because before I would do the rewards points and I would just get a month, get 3 months every time. And so I've always just had 2 to 3 years of whether it was Xbox Live Gold, and when I upgraded to Game Pass Ultimate, I've just always kept that going. So yes, I do have Game Pass Ultimate. So I will say that, but we're going to talk about this because I actually, if it were up to me, I would probably change it. So let's go ahead and let's talk about this, okay? So they came out with 3, we're going to say new plans. There used to be 3 old plans, but now there are 3 new ones. So let's talk about the bottom one first. The bottom meaning the cheapest that's on there. We're going to talk about the Essential plan, which used to be Game Pass Core. Game Pass Core was just basically your online for Xbox consoles, your online multiplayer, plus I think it was 20 to 25 games of Game Pass. And they were just kind of like your old Fallout games, your older games. Like, here, get into the service. Here's some games. And that's pretty much what it offered. Essential now, for that same price of $10 a month, they are adding, they say 50 plus games that are on there. This also does not show that you get the new day one games. So anything that's come out that's new, you don't get it on day one. You also don't get it within a year. So this is kind of like, here's your games, your 50 games, and that's kind of what you get. And they'll rotate as they see fit. What does this do for you? You do get in-game benefits for all obviously the Call of Duty, Warzones, the Rainbow Six Sieges, the League of Legends, anything that Game Pass offers that are, additional for Riot Games or anything, they do offer that for all 3 tiers. What they're adding to this is, which is interesting because they're actually saying that you can download and play on Xbox console, PC, and supported handhelds, when before this was just for console. So you subscribe to this and you get it everywhere. But note, no day one and no Xbox published games in the library within 1 year on there. This also does include, says you can also have the cloud on there. They did mention, very small, that Xbox Cloud Gaming is no longer in beta. It is now out. So I bet they don't call it X Cloud, but we're going to continue to call it X Cloud because that's just a better name. At least I think
it
so.
really is.
You can stream on supported devices, including Xbox console, PC, handheld, mobile, TV, VR headsets, and Xbox.com. If you have the subscription, this is the essential. So they've added that to the value. They are now toting, they are toting the rewards program now in this, saying, hey, your maximum earnable play rewards value per year is $25. Okay. Someone that does rewards program, I really hate that, actually. Like, I don't know why that bugs me. And I've been doing the rewards program before we started this podcast. Like, touting, but anyway. So that one there is $9.99 a month. Caleb, anything you want to add before we move to the next one?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to hold on.
I figured
to say.
Because
here's the thing: you're sitting here talking about these tiers as if this is stuff that like we haven't gone over before. We've talked about all this stuff. They're raising the price. They're shuffling a few of the features around between these plans. They're just trying to, make money.
Yep.
And we've passed the Goldilocks point with Gamepass is what I feel. And I think it is no longer a service I would recommend to anyone. By which I mean, it's not a service. It used to be a service I would recommend to pretty much everybody. Like, honestly, you play games on an Xbox, you play games on a PC, you should look into Game Pass. It's pretty cool. It's not at that point anymore. It's not that it's not right for some people, but it is no longer right for a lot of people.
I would agree to that. I would agree. We're going to go to the next tier here, which is the premium. This is $5 more a month on here. This one says that you get the Xbox game library. You get 200 plus games. But this one gives you the new Xbox published games join the library within 1 year of launch. So within a year, you'll get the new game. So, for example, I'm just throwing these out. The new Gears of War, the new Fable, the new Forza Horizon, the big three. You'd probably see that within a year on the service. So, and then all the cloud gaming stuff is on there. All the same things we talked about. They are talking about if you were to do this, you have shorter wait times for the streaming. If you're going to stream these on a PC, a handheld, mobile, console, they do tout that. And this one, for the rewards points, if you're in this, you get 2 times the rewards points for the quests, for the rewards quests and buying games and add-ons, and you can have $50 a year. Yeah, and that one's $14.99. Let's talk about Game Pass Ultimate. This is the big one that went to $29.99. $30 a month. You get 500 plus games. You get new games on day one. So when they first release, they are available on day one. All Xbox published games, things like that. There you go. You have it. You get everything else that the previous tiers has. The difference is on this one is you get 3 additional subscriptions that are in this. 1, Ubisoft Plus Classics. That there is his own is about I believe it said 12. It was $12.99 on its own, a subscription. You get EA Play, which is it was in Xbox Ultimate anyway before, but you get EA Play on there, so you get that. I didn't look up EA's Play subscription. I believe that's another $10. And then coming in November, you get the Fortnite Crew subscription, which is, I believe it's $11. That gives you the Fortnite Battle Pass, some extra skins and stuff every month. And that normally was through Fortnite. That's what you would get. So you get 3 subscriptions. If you play, Fortnite, if you play EA games and you like Ubisoft games, you could, I guess in general, cancel those subscriptions, go with Ultimate, and it would be a cheaper price because you get all of Xbox's games, Ubisoft, EA, all that. And
it's funny that you say that like people were actually paying a Ubisoft subscription.
I know.
That's not a thing that actually existed. They had like 5 test subscriptions from the testers at Ubisoft,
right,
in charge of testing the subscription thing. That's it.
I wouldn't see here. So funny you say that. So I guess we'll get into it because let me finish this. So let me finish what it offers. We'll say that. So also stream wait times will be the shortest. You'll be able to play everything at 1440p on the supported titles and devices on your PC, handheld, mobile, consoles if you want to stream. And your max earnable play rewards value will be $100 a year on there. So you get 4 times the rewards points when you buy things in the store, yada, yada. Also, if you're just on PC and just want to continue your PC Game Pass, you can, you play the hundreds of high-quality PC games, including new games on day one. If you want to continue just your PC Game Pass, it did increase that price to $16.49 a month, which was how much, Caleb, before?
It was $11.49, I think.
Yeah, it was like 11.
So it went up about a $5 increase.
But I do want to point this out that they also didn't put here, and it's in the fine print. It says that it excludes Call of Duty titles. I'm going to throw that out there because that's a big one for some people. So there's all the plans. There's all those. Gosh dang, yikes. So okay,
yeah,
listener,
it's expensive now.
it's expensive, and I guess if I were to play Ubisoft games, I play, here's the Ubisoft games that I play because I have bought them. Monopoly. I bought Monopoly on sale so I could play with family and my dad because we like playing Monopoly. I did receive, because long ago I bought that South Park Stick of Truth game. I bought it, and then they gave me the updated version to the Xbox, the updated version. So
yeah, I
have those. I would think that there's one more, but I couldn't tell you, listener. No, I do, but it's not on here. I did buy Heroes of Might and Magic on Steam, but I will not play it on there because I have to download another freaking Ubisoft launcher I don't like. Anyway, that's a whole other story. But I don't play Ubisoft games. I try to think of EA games I play other than Plants vs. Zombies, which is one purchase, I buy it and I'm done. And yes, my kids do kind of play Fortnite, but I don't. And I'm not going to buy them $30 a month Xbox subscription just so they could have that.
No.
So for me, listener, when 2 years down the road, as my Xbox that's coming to an end, if I don't continue to do the rewards program, which I will tell you what's happened to this rewards program in a minute. I'm getting there. For me, I honestly, because I don't do the streaming, I don't play a lot of the games actually on day one, unless it's like something I really want. So for example, day one for me, I'd probably play that Gears of War because I like that franchise, but I haven't played Starfield yet. I haven't played Indiana Jones yet. I did play a little Doom, but I haven't beat it. I started playing other games, but like all of these games that have come out, I haven't even touched yet. So I probably would go down to that premium subscription because I don't play Ubisoft games. I don't look at the Fortnite Crew or the EA. I might look at doing the myself doing the $15 a month. And if I wasn't curious about the Gears of War and the other stuff that's coming, I probably would have dropped down to Essential because I have the games I play already. So anyway, now that's my take on someone that doesn't already have Game Pass prepaid for 2 years.
Here's the thing.
So
here's the thing.
Go ahead.
I have been on Game Pass for several years because it felt like a hack, right? Because I was doing the rewards points and it was relatively simple. You know, you had to do a bunch of searches every day. You had to do some activities and stuff like that. You had to stay on top of it. But if you were staying on top of it, it was pretty straightforward to get a free month of PC Game Pass every month. So I was on Game Pass for free. And I did that for a long time. And like, that was cool. Like, that was a really neat thing to have.
Mm-hmm.
They jumped the price a while ago and did not increase the rewards points it required to actually get a month of Game Pass at the same time. They did increase it, but not as much as it wasn't a proportional increase, right? So for this whole time, it's felt like this awesome hack to do that. I don't play games on Game Pass enough to justify paying for it at $11, right? I just don't. They raised the price for PC Game Pass to over $16. I was like, wow, that's a big oof. And then I was like, ooh, I wonder if they're going to increase the points required to get this stuff. In the back of my head, thinking about how over the past few years, Microsoft has been making it harder and harder and harder to actually get enough points to have that free month of Game Pass. And so I was already looking at, like, I'm going to run out of months that I've built up here fairly soon. And, oh boy. And then at the same time, in the same email that they sent to me announcing the price increase of PC Game Pass, they said, also, you will no longer be able to redeem rewards points for months of Game Pass. If you want to do that, then you're going to have to redeem them for a gift card and use that gift card to buy those months of Game Pass. And I'm like, that means that I'd have to do everyday rewards, like all of the searches and all of the activities for 2 months to buy 1 month of Game Pass at the price increase that they're doing. And I was like, okay. And I went and turned off my subscription right then. I have 1 month left of Game Pass and it will end. And so I've already taken like the games that I was kind of playing a little bit, and I just took them, uninstalled them from my computer, and put them on my wish list on Steam, so that when they go on sale, if I'm interested in buying them, then I can pick them up. And there's one other game on Game Pass that I haven't played yet that I've been meaning to try, Age of Empires 4.
I
just
still
to see
need
if
to
I
try
want to add that to my wish list as well.
I still need to try it too.
So I have a month to play Age of Empires 4 to find out if I want to wish list that on Steam, and then I'm done. I am out. And because that's the thing, is that like when it was free, even though I didn't play it very much, it was totally obviously worth it, right? It required a little bit of extra effort from me, but no money, which was good. When it was $11, I was like, if you are playing like 1 or 2 games on Game Pass a month, then totally seems worth it for $11 a month, right? Like that's an easy, right? Because like even if some of these games, maybe it takes you a couple of months to beat them or whatever because you don't play that often, it's still like you're looking at $20 for games that may release at $50 or $60. So like, that's worth it. But now it's $16 a month. And if it takes me 2 months to beat these games, then now it's $30 or 30, $34, whatever, to beat the game. And it's now I'm looking at, okay, if I just waited 2 months for it to come out on Steam and then go on sale,
Yep.
like in the winter sale or something
Yep.
like that, I probably could have got it for like 15% off, and then it would cost the same amount of money, and then I would just own it. Meaning that if I decided to cancel the subscription at any time in the service in the future, I don't lose access and I don't lose my progress and stuff like that. And I was just like, yeah, I no longer see the value proposition. Like, obviously, the sweet hack that I've been enjoying for the past 5 years is gone. Dead, not an option anymore. You can't count on it. So, yep. Sorry, listener, can no longer recommend the awesome hack that we've been recommending for this whole time. We've been doing the podcast, basically.
Yeah, no, and same here. Like I can't do it anymore. Like I said, I've got 2 years on that. And so like,
yeah.
And at this moment, it's weird because I'm at a moment where I'm like, do I go back to playing on PC? Like,
yeah,
like
it's hard to say.
I have to really like,
on the plus side, if you do that, you will have Game Pass for 2 years because Game Pass Ultimate includes all the PC games.
Right.
So, there's that, I guess.
I think well, the thing that really, I don't know, if I go to PC, I'll still have my, Microsoft is going forward with this Play Anywhere. I still have all my games.
Yeah.
So I'm not losing anything, but it's like, but still, for me to have the subscription to play the games I want to, because at this point now, like, it's now just that multiplayer fee.
Yeah.
Like, for me. And so I'm like, okay, should I just go to PC and just link my Steam's already linked, my stuff's already linked. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. It's rough. Like, I can no longer recommend PC Game Pass because the reality is that on PC, if you're trying to save money, which was the main reason to get Game Pass
100%.
Originally, especially on PC, is that, it saves money on these big titles that are getting released on here. It's no longer really saving money. And on the, Game Pass Ultimate, unless you are really hardcore into playing the Microsoft release titles day one and you want to play all of them day one, then I just financially, I don't think Ultimate makes sense. The mid-tier one, the $15 one, little bit more sense if you are playing those Game Pass games regularly, right? Like if you play those a lot, then okay, sure, that one makes sense. And the bottom tier one is the basic, just like, I want to play multiplayer games. It's basically just gold again.
Yep.
But it has a few extra perks. So I think that honestly, for most people playing on Xbox, you want to be able to play multiplayer games. That's the one you go for. If you are really into like, hey, there's a couple of franchises that are owned by Microsoft that I don't want to buy all of the games for them, but I'm okay waiting maybe a year until the new ones come out. All right, then that mid-tier one seems fine, right? As long as those are the games you're playing regularly. And if you're crazy about just playing everything day one, but you don't want to buy everything day one, fine, I guess Ultimate. But at $30 a month, that's on PC, that's a game every month. That is like, not even like, okay, listen, it's the Steam Autumn Sale. Well, actually, the Steam Autumn Sale is going to end like in a couple of days. But so maybe it's not right now for you, listener, but it is for me right now. And I just bought Space Marine 2. This game's been out for a little while, sure, but I paid less than $30 for it. Like that's 1 month of Game Pass Ultimate, and I've got the whole game.
Space Marine isn't on Game Pass. Just throw that out there.
And that's the thing. It's like from the PC perspective, even $16 a month. What was it that I bought for? Oh, it was Age of Mythology Retold. I also got as part of the autumn sale for $15. That's less than a month of PC Game Pass. So it just does not make sense for PC players anymore. Just shop the sales on the storefronts, on Steam, on GOG. Just shop the sales. Make sure that you download the Epic Game Launcher. Get your free game every week.
Yeah.
I've got literally hundreds of games on that storefront. I've paid nothing, right? This is what it's like to be a PC gamer. and I own all of them theoretically. You know?
I wish I would have kept up with that on I hated all the launchers, so I was like, I'm not using Epic.
Valid.
But-
It's valid.
But that makes so much sense now that it's this initiative to combine all stores, and I'm like, dang it, I should have. That sucks.
Yep.
Anyway,
So
Landon, you're hearing all this. You're someone that isn't in this ecosystem, really any of them. You play Minecraft. You have a couple things like. What is this? How about you? What does this bring to you, or do you have any opinions? Or were you even listening?
I was listening. I was just
okay.
woke up.
I'm just wondering. Just wondering. I just figured
wait,
we'd get
were
your
you guys
input in
still
here.
talking?
I was listening. I was paying attention
Okay.
for the most part. But no, I mean, this doesn't affect me in any way at all. Unless,
He's like, none of these prices seem reasonable. It's too much.
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys are
I
talking about.
mean, in all honesty, yes. Yes, that is
Well, you
true.
just bring a different perspective sometimes to the conversations that, like I may say something and you'll have a completely different view. And so I'm like, yeah, I mean, if you have something you thought I want to say, why not throw it out there?
No,
But if you don't, it's
I
fine.
mean, I've never done anything in regards to a game subscription in any way, shape, or form. I do use rewards point, right? I do that, but I do the bare minimum to get my daily, points every day. I actually just looked. I'm like on a 670 some odd day streak, which is pretty good for me.
yeah.
That's solid.
I have a reminder on my phone every day to rewards points, so I can go and do that.
Hey, it works.
But I in the past I've used those points. Like I paid for part of my Apple Watch using a Target gift card from rewards points. I've done just things like that's what I use the rewards. I get gift cards to either Amazon or restaurants or stores like that's what I use rewards points for. And again,
Do they even have those on there anymore?
Yeah, like I do
wanna
the
see.
bare minimum of what they offer. So, like I don't even do extra.
They do
searches.
still have those. I checked
Okay, I was just thinking, I'm like, do they even have those anymore? But
because I have like almost 10,000 rewards points right now, and I'm like, well, I can't use those for Game Pass anymore. So freaking,
okay.
what am I going to use these for? So they do still have gift cards to other stuff.
Yeah, they have dropped the amount of options they give you for gift cards, but they do still offer some gift cards. And once
It's like Amazon and Target and maybe
See,
Walmart. I
I see
think I saw
Best Buy. There's Best Buy
Best
on
Buy. Yeah.
there. Okay. Yeah, you said that, and I was like, did they just get rid of them? Because I don't know if they did or not, but yeah. I wouldn't have been surprised, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they did make it harder to get more. Like when they changed it a while back to where you couldn't do your quote unquote desktop searches on your phone anymore. I stopped. I stopped doing all. Like I used to get way more points. Like pretty much all the points you could get via searching. I would do all the desktop ones. I could do all the mobile ones.
Yeah.
I'm like, once they changed that, I'm like, yeah, nope. I'm doing the bare minimum to get my daily points so I can keep that. Basically, the only thing keeping me going is I want to keep that streak going.
That's amazing.
Like really, that's the only reason. And it's like, well, it's kind of more or less free money. So after a while, like I've got a lot of points. I can get a decent amount of money in gift cards, but it takes a while to get there. So it's like that's the only thing that I do in regards to this conversation.
Yeah. Well, no, I just wanted to see if you had an input on it, though, on theirs. But yeah, that's honestly, it's kind of been the same when they took that away on my phone for the PC stuff. Like, it's weird because sometimes they'll flag me. So they'll flag my account because I'm like, oh, I'll get my, because now on the Bing app, they give you suggestions to search for. So you just click it and they're like, here.
That's all I do.
Here's your 5. So I was like, sweet. And I do that. But when I get on to the desktop and I just try to do it quickly, they'll flag my account and then I can only do 4 searches within 15 minutes, mobile or desktop. And so I just kind of stopped doing the desktop ones. I'm like, yeah, it's 150 points. It's like you said, they just make it harder. But even now I'm like, man, I don't know. I mean, I'll probably still, like you said, do the bare minimum and go from there.
Yeah.
Because even on the ones that I do on the Xbox is like, hey, play a PC game for 15 minutes. And the other one's play a console game for 15 minutes. So I'll turn on Microsoft Solitaire on my computer and walk away while having Vampire Survivors running on my Xbox. Walk away for 15 minutes, come back, and I get those. And then those are streaked. So then the more I do it for 7 days, I get an extra like 400 something points.
Yeah.
Because I do it for 7 days. I walk away. So I'm like, they don't track like, hey, do this certain thing in this game. It's just play it for 15. I'm like, okay. So, yeah. Anywho, Game Pass and pricing and updates. Listener, like Caleb had said, we wouldn't recommend this for everyone anymore. It used to be like, hey, Game Pass is great and all this. Like, we fully understand that Microsoft or Xbox has to pay Microsoft back now, quote unquote. For not only did they pay $69 billion for, let's just say all their shopping spree, $69 billion, and the 7.5 for Bethesda, then all the other things they had to do. They now have to pay things back to Microsoft. So,
yep.
And it looks like that it has plateaued, and they got to make more money. So this is what they're going to do.
Yeah, it's just, it's rough because I wouldn't recommend PC Game Pass for anyone now. And like we went over, there is, I suppose, an audience for the other tiers, but I feel like most people on Xbox should be on the lowest one, the bottom tier.
Yeah.
And if they had just a plain Xbox games with gold kind of thing where it was just multiplayer and cost less than the $11, I would think most people should be on that.
Yeah. I hate agreeing with you because I used to tote Game Pass. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah,
no,
Game Pass used to be the best value in gaming, 100%. A year ago, for sure. They've been slowly making it less valuable, but up until this price increase, it was still pretty arguably the best value in gaming. But now it kind of just isn't anymore. Now it's like, I don't know, maybe there's some other options out there.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't see myself buying that new. I know they're trying to be like, hey, anywhere you go with these devices and things you game, but I am an old school gamer. I have my either console or I have my PC. That's where I play. I don't.
Yeah.
So I mean, this stuff. I mean, we'll see what happens with all the new stuff that's coming and see if this is any better. But as of right now, with this, I'm like, ugh, that sucks. But listener, good luck on finding your gaming platform. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, or you could be like Landon and
said,
just play Minecraft and Mario Run on your phone.
You know, it's funny because those are like two games that I probably play the least on my phone.
No, fair. That's the only ones I can remember
Yeah.
you playing. So,
Yeah, I mean, listen, after the Steam Autumn sale is done, GOG's probably going to do theirs. So,
oh, true.
you know, that's where I would recommend you go, listener.
True.
But then I am also slightly biased. So,
Still, GOG, very good, I would say. And Steam, obviously. So, if you're on PC. So, okay, well, let's move on. Looks like that's actually brings us to the end of the episode, listener, unless, Landon, you got one more thing for us.
No.
Okay. Listener, we appreciate you, as always, listening to the episode and all the episodes that you have. If you want to get a hold of us somehow and tell us, hey, I enjoy Game Pass, I want to pay $30 a month, we'd love to hear about it. We'll mention you on there and be like, hey, good luck with that. Or if you want to just tell us another thing or about another platform or something, hit us up. Hit us up over on the socials. We could definitely use any kind of thing there to talk about. We'd love to hear from you. We do get quite a few of those. Not you sometimes on the socials, sometimes on Discords or other places we do get. We try to talk about that as much as we can. You can also go to our website at callingallplatforms.com. You can also check out our YouTube channel and subscribe to that over at Calling All Platforms. And, there might be a video or two that might show up sometime. I don't know, maybe. Caleb's shaking his head no.
We don't do that around here.
We don't do that. You can check it out there. Like, subscribe, whatever they say there for the cool people that I'm definitely not cool. Do whatever they do. Listener, have a good week.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Calling All Platforms is a production of Supporter Sound Studios. To learn more about how you can support the podcast, go to www.patreon.com/callingallplatforms.